So I was out driving my car the other day, and I noticed that there was a little arrow that showed up on the display. It was an indicator showing me something was wrong. Now I'm pretty sure this was a tire pressure gauge indicator. And sure enough, there was a little icon up at the top that told me there was some warning that I was getting. So I went ahead and clicked it, and sure enough, some of the tires were low. So I went ahead and swiped to where the tires are, and it showed me that the two front tires were on the low side. So I'm going to go ahead and give them some air. I had bought a air compressor that I keep in the car. That was one of the earliest accessories I bought just in case, since this car doesn't have a spare tire, and you always have that concern about what happens if. I went ahead and got an air compressor just to keep in the car. And sure enough, this is one of those times when I'm going to use it. So it's new, it's something I've never tried before, using this particular air compressor. I've always had an old air compressor, one that came as one of these power dome things, right? We had like the emergency light and the air compressor and all these things, and it's very loud. Let's see what this one looks like. So this is the one that I've literally used for years. It has a power in it, so you can plug in an electrical to it. You can charge something if you need to. It's got the compressor, it's got a light, it's got all kinds of other functions in it. It's like a 10-in-1 or something. It's a nice little deal, but it's kind of heavy and not really portable. It was nice to have in the garage just when I needed to put some air in a tire or something like that. But I needed something better that I could take with me in the Tesla. So that's why I replaced it at some point. I figured a little portable air compressor would be a good thing to have, just in case. So we're gonna go ahead and open it up. This is the first time I'm gonna use it, so better try it out. Better to try it out anyway now that I've had it for the better part of a year. Now this one is actually kind of cool. I picked it up on Amazon, and it wasn't very expensive. I think it was under $20. And it actually comes with a couple of other attachments, just in case the kind of thing I need to pump is a little bit different. So it's got some different sizes that I can put on there, including one that I can pump a ball with, which is kind of nice. So it's just a nice little compressor. Very quiet, very convenient, and kind of small, so it fits in the front, and I can just keep it with me for exactly reasons like this. Very lightweight thing. It's just this little device right here. And we're going to go ahead and plug it in. It comes with a cord you can plug it into the car. So it's got the accessory adapter, and then just I think it's a 15 or 20 foot cord that I can put on it. So let's go ahead and use this. So let's take a look at the inside panel and see what it recommends the tire pressure to be at. It says 45. Now that seems a little high to me. I think it should actually be a little lower. So I decided to go online and have a look, and I did find that Elon Musk had made a comment that it should be between 39 for a better ride and 45 to get better efficiency. Just like a regular car, the higher you inflate your tires, the better fuel economy you're going to get, or the better battery life. So I'm going to set it at 42, sort of splitting the difference, and we'll see how it goes. Now you may remember that the actual adapter is in here. We'll open this up, and you can see it right there. So we'll go ahead and connect to it, and that'll get us some power going. Put that in there. That up. Okay, we're good there. Got that all connected up. Now we should be able to use our... Okay, the cord gives us plenty of length here. You can see I've got some still out here, and I've got plenty of length that I can run it around to either the front or back tires. No problem here. I've got plenty of dimension on it to be able to get it to there, so that's great. This is a very clever little design here. It's got different units you can use. So right now you can see it's set to bars. I'm going to go ahead and change it to PSI because I prefer it in PSI. That's not PSI, that's kilograms. Okay, so this should be PSI right here. And then you can set it to the amount you want to have it on, so it should auto shut off when you get there. So I'm going to go ahead and set it to 29, 29 and a half. I'm going to go to 35. I'm taking the cap off here. Don't want to lose that. That's always a problem, is what happens to the cap when you put it on there. Okay, so I should just be able to put it. And we just let it run until it auto shuts off once it reached the desired pressure. And that's about 42 pounds. It actually goes a little bit over just to make sure it reaches that actual pressure. So the time it took to get from about the 32 pounds that it was showing to the 42 pounds was just over 6 minutes. So it's actually pretty quick. It's a pretty efficient thing that it does. And it'll actually inflate it pretty quickly. Gives it a little extra. Take that off, and we'll put the cap back on here. And we'll go around to the other side. It was both front tires. We'll check the other front tire as well. All right, same thing on this side. This one was showing us a little metal also, so we'll go ahead and unscrew this a minute. There we go. Put this on here. Let's find a weird angle. That's interesting. Okay. that's it. It says it's complete, so we'll go ahead and attach it here. Put our cap back on if I can find it. It must have kicked under the car. Get that in a second. There it is. Found it. It didn't kick under the car. This is a problem that I think everyone has. What do you do with the cap? I think what I'm going to start doing is putting it somewhere else. Maybe putting it in the car or something so I don't lose it. Anyway, nice little device. Seems to have worked pretty well. So we're in here and now we've reset the tires. The tire pressure gauge does not come on when you're sitting still. It has to be running for the tire pressure gauge to actually indicate anything. Since we're not running at the moment, it won't show anything. So I know that they were low based on what I saw before. So I'm gonna go ahead and click this. I'm gonna do service, and there's a link in here for reset TPMS sensors. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I don't think I want to do this actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I think I'm just going to leave it as what they are. What I'll do is I'll drive it later and it should be enough. I was thinking I wanted to reset the TPMS indicators, but I don't think I do. I think I actually just want to leave it as is and then use it and see where it nets out to. Because I don't think resetting it is going to do what I want to do. And so the answer is to get in the car and take it for a drive. Just by taking it out for a few minutes, you'll actually see the pressure come up and show up on the screen. At first it starts off as dashes because it's not reading it, and then eventually it'll populate with numbers in there. And you'll see that the front two are still showing as orange because the last time it read them was low, so it's giving you a warning that they're still low at this point, even though their reading is 42. Eventually, as I drive a little bit longer, this is real time we're dealing with here, you'll actually see them turn to black, showing that it has the correct pressure on each of the tires up there. So there's one, the other one's going to come up in a moment. And I just keep driving and the pressure will change and it'll actually read it correctly. Now it takes a few more minutes after this for this system to recognize it and take away the warnings completely. Right now I still have the warning on the dashboard that shows me that it actually has a low pressure warning, and that's why it's still orange like this. So it's going to take a couple of minutes for actual operation before it actually corrects itself and comes up as the correct pressure readings and then actually shows it correctly on the screen. So right now they're all black, meaning that they're all reading correctly, but I still don't have the change in the screen yet to show me that it's gone away from the tire pressure warning. So it just takes a couple more minutes. As I drove a little bit longer and then pulled in and out of a couple of places, it actually reset and actually went away at that point. So there you go. That was the whole thing I needed to do to get it working that way. Interestingly, as I've been driving the car here for a little while with the higher tire pressure, I've noticed that the ride is a little different in the car. Of course it is. You would expect that. But just interesting the way I've noticed it as I started driving. Actually, I think it's a little bit less smooth. I don't know. That's just me, I think. But it's actually a pretty good ride.